Well, hey there, sexy. How you doing? It's Jeremy here, your favorite person with Parkinson's, showing a little chest hair for this video. It's about dads versus Parkinson's, and what says dad more than chest hair? Alright, this video is a collaboration between me and my good buddy David Gebhart over at his channel Life with Parkinson's. You guys should check it out. Alright, so what I'm going to talk about today is just the things that a father goes through. How do you tell your kids that you got PD? For me, it was actually easier than probably for most parents. My son was 9 months old when I was diagnosed, so he's never known me without PD. Never known me not shaking in the morning, stiff, slow, groggy. That's what he knows. That's dad in the morning. So it was easier for me to kind of deal with it. I had to kind of educate him as he grew older. He's 10 years old now. It's definitely one of them things. It's kind of an ongoing discussion. He's concerned about getting PD when he grows up. I'm like, son, you can't worry about that. There's not really there's hardly any history of that in my family anyway, but I said, son, you can't worry about it. Some of the disadvantages, obviously, are the mobility issues. It's hard to get around. It's hard to do things in the morning and in the evening. It's just all around difficult disease. It's very unpredictable. And I was always Mr. Predictability. To a fault, maybe some people thought. I was just always dependable, just was there for whatever. It's hard for me to not be able to do a lot of things with him. Also, my son has ADHD, so his mind is going when he gets up in the morning, mind is going slow, which is a challenge. The upside is, he's a great kid. I love him. The upside is I get to spend a lot more time with him. I've actually had fathers tell me they're jealous how much time I get to spend with my son. I get to watch him grow up. In the mornings when I'm feeling good, we'll go on our little adventures, go for little hikes through the woods or whatever. When I'm feeling well, he understands. In the afternoon, after Daddy takes his medicine, it gives me what's called dyskinesia, which is the jerky body movements, which make me really uncoordinated, hard to do things. I don't know why the pills make it worse, but they do. But it's great to watch him grow up, and I would never trade this for a million years. I mean, I know having PD sucks, but to be with him pretty much every morning and every evening, priceless. I got a funny story for you. I'm going to close with a funny story. My son does not like to pick up his toys, and he will often make excuses for why he can't do it. One of the excuses he loves to make is, Daddy, my hands are stiff. I can't pick up my Hot Wheels, or my legs are cramping. I can't go out and get the mail. Convenient whenever he's told to do something, that's when he can't, when he gets the PD symptoms. So that's kind of a little funny way that in our family how he's learned to deal with it, by imitating Dad's symptoms. I remember the first time he really was aware of me having trouble walking. He's like, Dad, what are you doing? I was like, that's how I walk, son. And then he started walking around with his legs all flopping around. I was like, all right, that's enough. But if it's a kid, I'd rather have him laugh and kind of like not make a big deal of it than have to be this mountain in his brain. So that's all I got. Hope you liked what you saw today. Come back for more. Peace and love from the city of St. Louis.
Hi, it's David from Life with Parkinson's, and I'm very happy to be doing this collaboration video, Dads versus Parkinson's, with my good friend Jeremy McDonald. Just to give a couple viewpoints from the perspective of a father with Parkinson's, we thought that would be a good video topic to cover. When I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease back in May of 2017, my kids were reaching the stage of the young adult years. And even though we all had known for a while that there was something wrong with me, and it just took forever to figure out what it was. But getting that Parkinson's diagnosis did unsettle them quite a bit. I'd always tried to portray to my children the image of I know it wouldn't be true, but the image of that man that just keeps going and going and going, and nothing can stand in my way. And if something did stand in my way, I would just power right through it. But it had been getting harder for me to do that, and getting that diagnosis was a giant relief for all of us. But for my children, it seemed that, was Dad okay? My wife and I had always raised our children with the image of, hey, when you get 18, you're moving on, you're paying rent, or you're moving out. And if you're not paying rent, you're going to school. It was harder now to do that because we wanted them around just in case I needed help. Because we didn't know what this diagnosis was going to do to me. Especially in the short term, it was all just a big mystery. It was all just a big baseball bat in the face kind of sandwich, and enjoyed on white, brown, rye, sourdough, or multigrain, whatever your preference, but you're getting a mouthful. It was hard to let them go and move out, and it was hard to tell them to go. Harder now that we knew what was wrong with me. And after some quick research, we figured out that Parkinson's has a known outcome, and we just had to let go and let them fly, push the birds out of the nest. And for me as a father, that was the hardest thing to do, but I knew it was the right thing to do. You know, I couldn't hold them back because that would have been selfish of me. You know, I just said, my wife and I just finally told them, you know, go. If we need help, we'll call you, but for now, live your lives and build your own worlds, just like we all did. You know, we all built our own worlds, and they needed to do that too, because that's just the natural course of life. And to alter that for personal and extremely selfish reasons was not the right thing to do. As a father, it was very difficult. I think as parents, we all want the best for our kids. In my case, it was the best thing for them just to carry on. And the hardest part about that situation for me is that I knew I would need help in the future. And I knew I would need help in the future anyhow, because I knew that one day my body would break down anyhow. You know, when you're faced with that giant reality staring at you quite a bit sooner than you would have expected, you know, at 43, it seems a little early. In the natural course of things, it wasn't time for my kids to worry about me. It was time for me to help them out the door into the world. And it wasn't like they were a stranger to chronic illness. My wife had been suffering from endometriosis their entire lives, so they were well versed on what to do in a crisis. Well practiced. But I think it did bother them both quite a bit to have two parents, each with a chronic illness, just when they're hitting their young adult years. That must have made it very hard for both of them to leave home. Let's hear your tips and tricks for being a parent with Parkinson's or being a father with Parkinson's. What have you encountered? What's worked best for you and your family? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, let's take this journey together. And thanks, Jeremy. It's been awesome doing this collaboration with you. You definitely are my favorite person with Parkinson's. And everybody, have a good day, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.